Time for a fountain pen shootout. I tried to make that as terrifying as I could. What we're looking at today, Urushi Izumo versus Urushi Izumo. This one is reddish, this one is greenish, one has a broad nib, one has a fine nib. Zoop zippity zap, I think we need to compare the two. So, I have done a review of the Izumo. I'm not going to really spend a lot of time covering the parts, but I will show you the pens and then we'll do a writing sample. Alright, let's see what the differences are. Okay, so I thought it would be fun to just compare these two pens, if nothing else than to show you what the difference is between a fine nib and a medium nib. Now typically in shootouts I don't do this, but I thought I would just quickly show you the box. That wasn't that quick at all. My Izumo is from Pen Chalet, but the green one was lent to me by Appelboom, so thank you for lending me that so I can do this comparison. Rather a nice, simple, very Japanese, but nice wooden box. It comes with a little kimono, so you get some nice stuff with all this. And I just wanted to show you that the box and this little accessory. So that's kind of neat. It's a nice package. These pens are about $7.95 US. That is the MSRP. The street price is a little lower. I typically see them for about $6.36 US. So they're not like they get discounted quite a bit, and different companies do that. Sorry, let me zoom in a bit more. Now, a little hard to capture in the light, but this is the red version. So they're both, the bodies are black, right? The red one is Akatame, which is an Urushi technique, if I remember correctly. So you get these red highlights. I have to hold it pretty close to the camera for you to see that. That's red, right? So there is that. And then there is the green one, which is the Heki Tamanuri. Which has green, which is very hard to pick up on camera, but there is a very light sort of greenish color there. I think that's the best way I can show you. So it's green versus red. I personally prefer the red. I think it's a little warmer, stands out a little bit more to me, but some people really love this. This is a very personal thing, right? This is very, very personal, so you can't really argue with that. My pen, so they have the Platinum President nib, which is a little smaller. I always find this pen could do with a slightly bigger nib, proportionally, but okay. Mine is a broad, it's an 18K nib, mine is a broad, and then there is the green version that I have here, which actually has a medium nib. Did I say fine earlier? Sorry, I meant medium. There is a bit of a difference, for sure. Of course, both 18K, it's the same nib style, it's both the President nib, but one medium, one broad. And I thought that would be interesting, especially because we typically say, we're very eager to say, Japanese nibs are one nib grade finer than Western nibs. So a Japanese medium would actually be a Japanese medium would actually be a Western fine. A Japanese broad would be a can't speak anymore. A Japanese broad would be a Western medium, etc., etc. So I'm going to nearly knock that off the desk. I'm going to try and do a writing sample side by side. I think that could work. Let's start with the medium. Both pens are inked up with the same ink, Ackermann Delft's Blau. Simple washable blue, but I thought we'd keep a very simple ink in this. So here, I'm not going to bother with the names for the Urushi. I'm just going to say Izumo Horrid Eye green with an 18K medium nib. I have to rotate this a little bit because I'm reaching around a tripod. I find these nibs pretty feedbacky, not super smooth at all. And I would say it is fair to call this a Western fine. This is a medium, but I mean it's definitely on the fine side of things. Another thing I find with the Izumo nibs is that they are, so actually the present nibs, is that they are pretty dry. These are not gushers. Very careful, you can squeeze out a bit of line variation. But as always, be very, very careful. It's not a flex nib. Okay, so there we have the medium nib. Then let's look at the broad nib. And I again don't think it is too much of a leap of the imagination to call this a Western medium. This nib is smoother. Of course, there is more tipping material, so there is more to be polished, so you would expect a slightly smoother experience. That is a nice experience though, this medium nib. It is a bit feedbacky, but I found it rather a pleasant feedback. It lets you write, lets you feel you're actually using a fountain pen, which is quite nice. Ink flow on this model, the broad nib, is richer, which is nice. And the fun thing is I actually found this a little dry when I got it, but now in comparison to this medium, it's actually relatively wet. And again, line variation, very careful. Not bad at all. So, I like my Izumo. I think it's a fun pen to play around with. Rushi is always nice. They're not cheap, but then again, as a Rushi goes, some Rushi pens are $1,200, $1,400, $2,000, so $636. It could be worse, let's put it that way. Ominous words for the fountain pen collector. The price, it could be worse. A kind thank you to Joost for lending me this pen. I appreciate it. I hope this comparison was useful. I have done a full review of this, so if you need more information on the model, then I would recommend you to check out that review. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.